Welcome back to Boss Babes Healing, where we are loving on each other by healing and doing it with God first. Here at Boss Babes Healing, we are getting to the bag, but we are also healing because we know that that's the real bag. And so every week we're coming at you with new topics. Sometimes there's a guest, sometimes I'm just doing it by myself. I'm that type of girl, where I could go out to dinner by myself, I could host a show by myself. You my type of girl. I know you on the other side looking at me, and you the same way. Okay, we not waiting on nobody. We get it done. And so here at Boss Babes Healing, we are dropping gems and tools and coming at you every week. Some weeks I may not come at you. Some weeks, might be a different type of show. Maybe a teaching. Some weeks might be a breathing exercise. Some weeks it might be something different. Every week it might be about healing. It might be about money. It might be about finances. On this week we are talking about the fellas, the guys. Yeah, you. I see you. We talking about you. We might talk about your mother too. What? No, I'm just playing. So this topic this week, as we jump in, as always, we don't believe in wasting time around here. This week we are talking about why I keep dating the same guy. Stay tuned. Yes, thank you for joining us once again. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here, and I love you for that. Coming to see what topics we got, what gems you could pick up, what we're doing this time around, how we're healing on each other and holding each other's hand doing it. And I just, at the top of the show, want to let you know that I am here for you. I am your coach. I am your mentor. And God has sent me to help his people, his sons and his daughters. And so I am Coach Brown. I am also a spiritual mentor. What does that mean? What does that entail? That's where I go to God for you. That's where we lay it all out and we hash it all out and we pull up roots and we start to heal and we get rid of roots so we can move forward in 2025 all the way healed, all the way delivered. And so I do have an actual healing power in my hand. I do heal. I am a healer, as well as a mentor, as well as a coach, as well as an author and a mother. I wear a lot of hats, but I asked for it. I wear a lot of hats, but God built me that way. I wear a lot of hats, but so do you. And you know as well as I do that we got this. And so on this week, we are talking about dating the same guy. And if you don't know what I'm saying, I'll break that down real quick. What I'm saying is, you could date John, you could date Jim, you could date Paul, and it seems like the same traits show up in each and every one of John, Paul, and Jim. And some people are saying, what is that? Is that me? Is that them? Am I attracting that? Are there roots that I need to pull up when it comes to relationships, when it comes to dating men, even dating women? This is not just a one-sided thing. You guys out there could be noticing that you're dating the same woman, you're dating the same girl. It's always a middle part. I'm just saying. I'm just playing. But it's the same. It's the same girl every time. It don't change. She got a bad attitude. She listens to whatever that her mother tells her to do. Her mother's all in your relationship. Girls, he wants to have a relationship through text. We're like, when are you going to call? When are we going to go out? And why are you WYDing me to death? If you text me one more time, WYD, I'm pulling up. Are you sick of it? It's dating the same guy, dating the same girl every time. What is the root of that? These are the 3 things that I learned by dating with the Holy Spirit. Number 1, take their very name, and we're going to dig up some roots as we do this. But number 1, take their very name. So her name is Shayla Brown or Shayla Johnson. Lord, who is Shayla Johnson? Why is she in my life? Did she present herself or did you send her? What is she to me? Is she here for a season or is she here for a lifetime? Are there lessons I need to learn? Am I supposed to be in a relationship with her? What is behind the attraction? A lot of times people fall for attraction when that attraction has a reason behind it. That attraction that you think she's so fly, she's so fine, she got it all together, she's definitely a 10, she's a baddie. There's an actual reason behind that attraction that you have her, that you have for her, that you have for him. That attraction can be because you're supposed to make money together. That attraction could be because that's your business partner. That attraction can be because you're supposed to marry him. That attraction could be because you're supposed to help him heal something. That attraction could be because there's something in his body that he's dying from or he's getting sick from every day, and you're supposed to recognize it and tell him about it and be friends after that. Friend zone permanently after that. I met a guy, I dated him, I didn't bring him to Christ. We didn't go there, but he shouldn't have spent the night at my house. This was years ago. He shouldn't have spent the night at my house, but he did. And when he did, he fell asleep. And as he was sleeping, his snoring was so loud that we had to be in two separate rooms. So God was definitely there. So we had to be in two separate rooms. And I wasn't attracted to him in that way. He was nice, but I wasn't attracted to him in that way. So anyway, he's in another room, I'm in my living room, and he's snoring so loud. But in the middle of snoring, he stops snoring and stops breathing. And starts choking a little bit. But then he goes right back into sleep and right back into snoring. And then it happens again. So I wake him up. I'm like, you are actually not breathing at certain points that you're sleeping. You are stopping breathing. You need to go to the hospital. So he goes to the hospital. Nothing happens to that visit. But then he goes to the doctor after that. He gets a more extensive look. And the doctor tells him, whoever told you to come here, they saved your life. Because you could have actually died in your life. You are stopping breathing. You are not breathing at certain points in your sleep. They monitored his sleeping. And so he had to have a certain machine when he rested. But that was the only point for me to be in his life. It wasn't to be his girlfriend. It wasn't to get married. He wasn't that material. And it was clear. But it could have went the wrong way. And trust me, he wanted it to go the wrong way. But that was the only reason for us to be around. And a lot of people are missing that. That's a huge thing that a lot of people are missing. Yes, there's an attraction there, but why? Find out the why. Go to God about the why. Then there's some people who they're not supposed to be in your life forever. It's just a short season that they're supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be around for years to come. They're not even supposed to be your friends. There's people who they need a bill paid and you're supposed to bless them like that, and that's it. There's people you're not supposed to lend them no money. You're supposed to give it to them, and that's it. There's people there's a book you're supposed to tell them to read. There's a lesson you're supposed to tell them or teach them, and then that's it. Very short. And there are people who are married. There are people who have children together. When that person was supposed to teach you something small, something tiny, something minute, and go on about their business. And now you got children with the person. Now you're married to them and you're frustrated and you're looking at them like, who is this, Lord? Yeah, you should ask who is this, Lord, in the beginning. Don't ask who is this, Lord, 10 years later. I seen a clip on online where the guy and the woman said that they were 10 years in and they looked at each other and said, I don't like you anymore. What? After 10 years of marriage? Looked at each other and said, I don't like you. And the other one looked at the other one and said, I don't like you either. Why are people not growing together? What is that they're not able to grow together? And so I am a life coach. And I've been in relationships myself. I'm not a relationship guru, but I do have an authoritative opinion and voice when it comes to life, being a life coach and being in relationships myself and knowing what a healthy one looks like and having God be in my relationships first and foremost, taking their name and going to him and saying, who is this? What is their purpose of being here? What is my purpose in their life? It's not one-sided. I'm not picking and pointing on the other person. Why am I around? Why am I in their life? What am I bringing to them? And then what is the course of action? How do I step into this action in that person's life? Am I supposed to mentor them? Am I supposed to coach them? Because as a coach and being a prophet and being a mentor, I absolutely ask, even with clients, am I supposed to mentor them, Lord? Sometimes it happens. I don't even ask. I'm friends with the person, and God will say, okay, tell him or her this. Give them this advice. Instruct them in this way. Meanwhile, I'm figuring we're friends, or there's a different purpose for me to be in their life when really it's this. And so we're asking God why they're here, what purpose do I serve in their life, and who are they? Here is their name. And you're also asking yourself and asking God as well, what is behind this attraction? That's the surface level of things. Now, digging into the roots of dating the same person, here are 3 root diggers that you can use in a relationship. Long term, you've been in them for a while, or you've been with them for a short period of time, or you're separated and you're thinking about getting back together and you're not sure, do I have roots with this person? Are my roots the problem? Is it him? Can we do counseling? How would this go? And so I would absolutely suggest counseling. Absolutely. Counseling, therapy, all of that together would be a huge way of digging up roots. A second way of digging up roots would be to look at the relationships in your family, in your lineage. Look at your mother's relationship and how she handled things with your dad, and look at your grandparents and your aunts and uncles and how those relationships goes, and is there a pattern? Because if there is a pattern, there could be a curse in your family where people don't have long relationships, or women don't get married, or there's people are having children and families and there is no marriage. And when I say that, I'm saying that there's no commitment anywhere. Or somebody always finds out that he had a family somewhere else, or he was married to more than one person, or he has property in another country, and all kinds of business like this. So look into your family and the lineage and your bloodline and see what are the patterns, because those patterns are sometimes curses. And I'm not saying that you have it. I plead the blood of Jesus against any curse right now in Jesus' name. But look into it to see if those patterns do exist and why they exist, why they are there. You can also look at what you didn't heal from. Do you have mother wounds? Do you have father wounds? Do you have authority wounds? Were you mistreated as a child? Were you abused or SA'd as a child? Were you bullied as a child? When you're bullied and you're SA'd as a child, you tend to have insecurities that sometimes don't even exist anymore. You're absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, but you can't even see that in yourself because for so many years people told you you weren't. So you can't even see certain things in yourself. So you're not able to enjoy those things with a spouse or a partner because you don't even know those things exist. You don't know that you're really funny. You don't know that you're a great person to hang around. You don't know that you're absolutely gorgeous. You don't know that when you put that on, girl. You don't even notice that. You're thinking, oh, my outfit's cute. Oh, it's okay. But you got him trying to cool down. But you don't notice it because for years and years and years, the trauma and the torment of being torn down and called ugly and beat up is still stained in your memory. It's still stained on your heart. And it's like a mark across your chest. It's like a scab that's never been able to heal because it's always been open. And through the years, when you don't heal, those wounds don't close. They only close when you use healing tactics. They only close when you partner with the Holy Spirit and you say, God, I'm ready to heal, then he touches you in the way no man can and starts that healing process. And then they start to heal. When you bring God into the equation, now you're starting to close those wounds up. Now you can get that divine intervention, a healing that you need, that touch that no man could ever give you, of healing that you can get, right? That's when that thing starts to close. It doesn't close because you get older. It doesn't close because you're still alive. It doesn't close because you take a shower and put on clothes and work hard every day. Hard work doesn't heal wounds. When you work hard to dig up and get up underneath those wounds and go under the surface and peel that thing back like an onion and really see who it is you are, because sometimes your scars don't make you, but their scars will break you, and those scars will get in the way of your blessings and what it is God has for you. And so you have to absolutely confront those wounds. You can't ignore them anymore. They're starting to show up in different things in your life, and they will definitely show up in relationships. That's the first place they show up. They love them old scars and those wounds and those unhealed places love to show up in those places where you're unhealed. That is an open door for the enemy to come in. He looks for where you don't have forgiveness at. He looks for where you're holding back. He looks for where you're trying to hide jealousy at. He looks for where you're insecure at, and picks at those things until you explode. And now you have an argument with somebody and you don't even know why. Now you're starting to push people away and envy them and look at them with jealous eyes because you're not healing certain parts of you that you're ignoring. And so it's imperative for your future, for your communication. Your blessings don't come through birds. They don't come through a dog trotting down the street with money in his mouth. God can do that, but it's not likely. Your blessings come through people. God will always send you a person. You can either realize the blessing or you don't realize it. And then a lot of times in relationships, women and men don't realize it. We see the attraction. We see what they are giving us. We see what we're able to hide behind, what we're allowed to hide behind. And that's a red flag as well. Whenever you have insecurities or something is wrong or not right, and that person sees them and they don't say nothing about it and continue to let you live like that, that person is absolutely not for you. Attraction goes out the window, and so should they. Whatever you hiding behind, and he knows you're hiding behind it, or she knows you're hiding behind it, and they don't address it, they don't say nothing about it, you just keep texting with each other all the time. That's the problem that they're allowing. When that happens, they want you to be insecure. It makes things easier for them. It makes it easier for them to WYD you and 10 other girls in the morning. It makes it easier for them to go to dinner with you, and after they drop you off, go to dinner with 2 other people. It makes it easier for them to go home and sit in their insecurities and text you and sit behind what they're trying to hide. And now nobody's being open with nobody. And so it's important that we watch the red flags, we give their names to God. We're digging up roots. We're looking at our own insecurities. We're looking at our own old scars, mommy issues, daddy issues, authority issues, because an authority took advantage of you. An authority was supposed to do their job and said they were doing something else, they were mistreating you, and now you have an issue with authority because they were supposed to save you and show up and be the hero of the day, and instead they were the villain of the day. And so now you have an issue with authorities because no one ever came with their cape to save you. And so now you don't see a man as ever being able to put a cape on for you. You don't ever see a man as being able to show up on a horse, white horse. You don't ever believe that there's a Cinderella in you, or there's a Snow White in you, or there's a Sleeping Beauty in you. You don't believe that those things are actually alive in you, and they are. Those weren't stories from Disney. Those were stories from someone's heart, that they felt like their mother went through that. Whenever someone writes anything, there's a piece of them or someone they know in the story. Some things are completely fairy tale, but those stories of Snow White and Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella, those are pieces that are in us. There are Sleeping Beauties. There are Cinderellas that get the guy, that get the rich story. You get to live those love stories out once you've gotten to that healing. Some people's healing takes a long time. Some people's healing is a lifetime. Some people's healing is very short. They get to the point, they know what it was, boom, bang, pow, they knock it out, and they're ready to run forward with fire. That's not everybody's story, but there is a Cinderella in you. There is a Snow White in you. There is someone that shows up with a cape on for you. There is a hero in your life. For everybody, that's God, and then he sends the hero in the natural form for you. He sends you your husband, and he definitely has a cape on. He sends you your wife, and she definitely is your Cinderella. She's the one that you've been running around with a slipper for, and she has the other one. And so don't count out those stories that you've seen because they were cartoons or because you thought they were for kids. There's an inner child inside of you that wants to live again. There's an inner child inside of you that says, hey, I'm still here. Don't forget about me. Because when you were young, that's all they did was forget about you. That child that got forgotten about is still there. She didn't go away. She don't get to go away until you realize it, until you open the door for her and acknowledge that she's there and show her some love and go on an adventure and go paint something and go to Disneyland or go to a water park. You have to fuel that inner child. We all have an inner child, and it's actually biblical to be like a child to God. To be like a child for your Heavenly Father. To be like a child is biblical. It is. Not for you to act like one constantly. No, I'm not saying that. But that you have an inner child that wants to be loved and likes to have fun and go out for ice cream sometime, or you're at the store and the car's over there and you say 1, 2, 3 and you race, and you see who wins and run to the car, and all those little fun things that we do. That's your inner child. Sometimes that inner child is screaming. Sometimes that inner child is muzzled. Sometimes that inner child's eyes are closed because they can't see, because they're always in the dark. And when they come out to the light, they don't know what they're looking at. And some of your inner childs are dating people because the woman in you is checked out. She don't believe no more. She don't have faith no more. She don't trust anything or anybody no more. So she's checked out. So now you're going on fumes and attraction. And so the only person that can show up is that child who's unhealed, who's sad, who needs a cape, who needs God, who needs a hand. And that's a root. That's definitely a root. So your roots are authority, mother wound, child wound, father wound, your lineage, looking at relationships that have a pattern in your family, in your bloodline. And another root, a last root as we close out, a last root when it comes to relationships is the patterns that you've narcissistically accepted. When you narcissistically accept patterns is when you date a narcissist. That is a huge red flag, a huge pattern, and a very deep root is to date a narcissist. Once you date a narcissist, 99.9% of the time, you're going to keep dating them. Unless you realize you dated one, you stop. Break it off and go heal and just be with you. Sometimes it takes just getting you together, being by yourself, dating you, taking you out to dinner, buying you something nice, taking you to the movies, making a nice dinner for yourself at home and watching a movie and curling up with a blanket, going to get a pedicure, loving on you, to break the cycle of dating a narcissist. that is something that is actually a very deep root, and you will continue to date the same person if you have dated a narcissist and you didn't heal from that relationship. The wounds and the horror and the nightmares will hold on to you until you heal from them, until you ask God to clean you up and to dig deep in your heart and to pull out and to uproot and dig out the wells of your heart. And so that's a wrap for this week. We came strong, we came hard, we gave you some real gems. We definitely dug up some roots. We definitely got deep. We definitely went there this week. We definitely came and did what we came to do. And I'm glad that you joined me this week. I can't wait to see you on next week, where we will have another juicy topic. If you have any ideas for any topics, you can absolutely leave some in the comments below. I am not afraid to reach out to the people. That's what I do. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor. I'm a mom, I'm an author, and I'm here to serve. And so if you have anything you want to leave in the comments, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you felt some kind of way about something I said, let's talk about it. You know, if you have a topic that you really would like for me to dig in deeper to, something that you're dealing with, but maybe you're not ready to mentor, maybe you're not ready to coach yet, and you'd like just for me to do a topic about it, that's cool too. Leave it in the comments. I'm here for you, and we will get to it. And also, if you would like coaching, you can, in the description box below, I do have my email there. That's a more personable way to contact me instead of DMing me. Yeah, so you can reach me at my email, newoilenterprise, the number 7 at gmail.com. I am available for you. I am available for coaching and mentorship. Even if the person is younger, I start at 15 all the way up to whatever age. It doesn't have a cap, but I start at 15. So if you have a niece or a nephew or someone younger that you're seeing is not going in the right direction and you'd like to absolutely get them some mentorship, that's what we do here at New Oil Publishing, is the name of the company. And so yeah, that is what I do. That is what I am here to serve as God's servant, as a woman of God. And I can't wait to see you next time. I know that you got what you needed, and if you didn't, you can also message me because you need more, or I hit the surface, or I just kind of, tapped on what you were I just maybe tapped on the topic for you, but you needed it to go a lot deeper. You can absolutely message me and we will go a lot deeper. We will get into the roots and the grooves of what it is you're going through and knock this thing out and get to the healing that you need. And so I thank you for joining me. I can't wait to see you on next week. I thank you for joining me, and God bless you. We'll see you later.